Hello and welcome back to day 33 of our Lenten Paeans, and we're coming to you from St Gregory the Great church in Rendlesham, which is why it echoes so much. Today we've got Gillian back with us. Thank you for joining us. And we're skipping out of the Gospel and into Acts, the book of Acts. Chapter 3, verses 1 through 10. One day, Peter and John were going up to the temple at the time of prayer, at 3 in the afternoon. Now a man who was lame from birth was being carried to the temple gate, called Beautiful, where he was put every day to beg from those going into the temple courts. When he saw Peter and John about to enter, he asked them for some money. Peter looked straight at him, and as did John. Then Peter said, "Look at us." So the man gave him his attention, expecting to get something from them. Then Peter said, "Silver or gold I do not have, but what I do have I give you. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, walk." Taking him by the right hand, he helped him up, and instantly the man's feet and ankles became strong. He jumped to his feet and began to walk. Then he went with them into the temple courts, walking and jumping and praising God. When all the people saw him walking and praising God, they recognized him as the same man who used to sit at the temple gate called Beautiful, and they were filled with wonder and amazement at what had happened to him. Oh, I can just imagine the excitement in this man's heart, after being lame and having to beg for a way of living, to suddenly be healed. And not by Jesus, because Jesus has gone back to heaven at this stage, but by Peter. So what does that bring up in your mind?
Well, I think the first interesting thing about this is that it's the first miracle that one of the disciples, in this case Peter, actually performs. And so it says a great deal about what the church might look like and what people might be able to do in the name of Christ. And it's I think what strikes me is the sort of obvious certainty that Peter has that he can do this.
Yes.
And that must have, you think, where did that confidence come from? Was that purely out of what happened at Pentecost?
To be able to say it with such authority, and he doesn't call on anyone to help him. He doesn't make a big fuss about it. He just says it plainly to the man. Let's go. I like that.
Yes, you wonder whether they've been waiting for this moment, or whether it was just whether they ever thought that they would have the opportunity to do these things, even though Jesus had sort of promised that they would be able to forgive sins and to do all sorts of things. Had they been waiting for this, or was it that sort of sudden moment when they saw this chap and thought, this is it?
Yes, it's not a case of this is all recorded before time, scripted and everything. there and then. And Peter must have felt something in his heart to know that Christ was with him and would heal this man through him. And it blows my mind. But it shouldn't, because when we ask for things in prayer, how many times does God answer us? And this is just what Peter's doing.
And he answers, in a way, he answers this man, not in the way that the man expected.
Yes.
Which I'm sure many of us have experienced, that God doesn't answer prayer in the way that we expected or even hoped.
Yes.
But in this case, Peter gave this chap something much greater than some money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, how many times have you been faced by someone asking you for money and you say, no, you haven't got anything on you, and they turn around and say horrible things to you. But yeah, I don't know what was going through this man's mind, but I'm sure he never forgot that second.
No, absolutely. And in fact, I think he went in, well, it says, the reading says that he went into the temple with Peter and John.
Yes.
And I think later he witnessed to the authorities that he had in fact been healed.
Yes.
By Peter.
And that's when the authorities then start questioning and saying on whose authority and things like that. Which goes back to the reading we had, I think it was yesterday's reading, or the day before, talking about the church as an organisation rather than the church as our people, the people that we are. And when you turn it over to be just an organisation, that's all it is. But Peter and John are going in there as people of God, as disciples, as believers, knowing that Christ has given them authority. And he does that for us. And too many people forget about that. So it is good to be reminded.
Yes, and the other thing I wonder is whether Peter and John have any idea of what the consequences of this action might be as well.
Yes.
Because we know Peter was always impetuous, but on this occasion, if he'd thought it through, would he have gone ahead and still done what he did?
Yeah.
I'd like to think so. In fact, I'm sure he would. But
yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think there are times when we can be, speaking for when I can be afraid of perhaps witnessing, because I think ahead and think what the consequences might be.
Yes. Yeah, you think ahead and you think, but what if they don't like it and they say something horrible to me, then what am I going to do? And you back away instead of following that feeling that God gives you in your heart to witness to someone. I wish I was more brave sometimes. But every time I have stepped forward, it's always gone right. Right, thank you again, Gillian, for joining us. And thank you for joining us online. And we will see you on the next one. God bless. We hope and pray these sessions will give you something positive to see and look forward to. something you may wish to share with others, please do. You can see the series unfold on our YouTube channel at St Felix Rendlesham and by visiting our church website rendleshamchurch.org. Should you wish to contact us, please do so by email on info@rendleshamchurch.org. God bless, and we'll see you in the next video.